What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm tackling The Walking Dead, Dead City. Season 2, Episode 2 just dropped, and I'm recapping it. And this is going to be fun, because if you haven't been here before, I'm blind, and there's no audio description. This is how AMC has chosen to present The Walking Dead for a long time. Um, whether it's directly onto cable through AMC Plus, a streaming service which is fully capable of supporting audio description. They just choose not to. If I wanted to wait long enough, I could wait for it to debut, 2 years later on Netflix with audio description. Like The Walking Dead Dead City is currently on Netflix with audio description. It's very weird that the show is not on its own service with its own accessibility and audio description. So, yeah. So let's talk about Dead City. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. Let me know if you are in the comments. Tell me if you're a Team Negan or Team Maggie. If you're Team Herschel, this is not going to be a good time for you. So, what do we got in episode 2? I don't know. We get like a violin lesson at the beginning. Dude plays this beautiful violin. The funny thing is, I also work in music outside of doing film reviews, and the comments that he makes about Brahms are the comments that I've heard so many other classical musicians make about Brahms. He's not popular, so I was like, man, you nailed that on the head. I know a lot of people who are like, Brahms, basic ass bitch. you know. So yeah. But he lands on Bach and plays this nice little piece, and it's nice violin. And we also see Maggie and the team are talking about plotting how to invade New York. And Maggie's and also Abernathy, or whatever his name is from last season, Gaius Charles, are both kind of left out of the loop here. And the new overly aggressive, strong boss ass lady played by Orange is the New Black, Dasha Polanco. She's really taking over like the direction, and she's like, it's my way. There is no highway, it's just my way. There's one way. And we're doing it. So you can, follow me or die. Those are the options, so I got the idea that maybe Gaius Charles had been elevated above her, but no, this is her plan, and her plan is stupid. But inherently it looks like the dumbest idea. And for the two people who have actually been in New York City, they're both like, this is maybe not the way to go. No, she's like, no, we're going. This is what we're doing. They want to take like a small group and try to sneak in. And they're like, no, we have this army. Why would we not? How could we not audaciously roll in? This never turned out bad in history ever before. And as much as Maggie's like, now they know we're coming. He said who he was. The Croat is definitely aware and is definitely strategic enough to be able to put things together. And honestly, more strategic than we ever really gave the Croat for, because there's some shit that goes down here that's just like, I'm shocked. And I did get a little bit of clarity from somebody else who had seen the episode about just a couple of things that I didn't know. And I was just like, oh my God. So she argues with Gaius Charles, and he sends her to go scout and see whether or not, whether or not she can see that they are aware, whether or not there is a presence, a clear presence of so for them to push back harder, they need evidence. And so she goes to do that, and out of nowhere comes the world's angstiest teen, Herschel. I don't know how he has survived the zombie apocalypse with this much angst, teen angst and emotion within him. He is the worst character in any Walking Dead series I think I've seen thus far. What they've done with Herschel is so egregiously terrible. I didn't think I would get to the point where I'd be like, can we kill off baby Glenn? He's he's not good. Everything that he says is with like this sense of attitude and entitlement, like that it's very unearned. Like he has not. I know he doesn't have the combat skills Maggie does. I know he hasn't put up with the shit Maggie has. I know she's protected him from that. But you would think that he does. And he's like, I've followed you here. You know, I tracked you using my intense tracking skills. It's like, oh my God, it was so hard for you to know that they were headed towards New York City, which even in a zombie apocalypse would probably be one of the easiest locations to try to find. You know, it's like all roads lead to Rome. A lot of roads lead to New York City. This is a really hard journey for you. So, but they get captured because Dasha Polanco, Daya, she's back in here. And, yeah, she thinks they were trying to sneak away and be traitors, and Maggie argues, and then Daya threatens to hang Herschel, so she punches her, and then I don't know, they get thrown in jail. So like the strongest asset that they have is thrown in jail right before they go invade. And they get on this ferry and they go out because again, she's killing the game here on leadership. And they're just boldly taking this giant boat, just, and they float across, and they also have this historian with them who's basically useless. Let's be honest, he's basically useless, but I don't know, he's there for whatever purpose, because the show is trying to build new characters and really has a hard time doing it, I guess. So they hit a buoy and realize that the buoy is a bomb because, again, they have methane. So they have rigged, there are these buoys that are in the water that are floating out there that are essentially like mines for boats if anybody were to try to come in by boat. And when they hit them, the boat explodes, and so they're trying to save what they can, navigate around the buoys, and you know, Maggie and Herschel beg to be let out, which they eventually are, which is good because things are just gonna get worse from here. So by the time they get on land, the Croat has developed a system where he launches walkers that are full of methane and uses them as these bombs. And they're inherently, I guess they're sprayed with something that's flammable anyway. And so that just like makes for this worst thing. And he's like tossing dead bodies at them it's Operation Mincemeat. And so these walkers are exploding, and Negan is able to see he sees like for a hot second that Maggie and Herschel are, this is something I picked up from somebody else. He's able to see Maggie and Herschel, and he pauses for a second, which I guess is picked up on, and like the Croat notices, and it leads to this thing later on where he's in with the president, not the president, but whatever she is, the mayor of New York. I know the other one's calling herself the governor. It's the governor versus the mayor. The governor of New Bethlehem versus whoever this other lady is. And she also, she wants to know why Negan didn't, give everything he had in that assault. And Negan's like, he doesn't tell her originally that there was a reason. He's just like, take it out on me. But she's got violin guy who I guess was playing violin for Negan while he was in the cell. And so he's like, seems like a good kid, don't kill him, that kind of thing. Obviously she kills him, but he gets to play one more time. Unfortunate because, again, and this is true of all of the series, this is true of all of the series. It mattered less. Actually, I would say the ones who live actually did develop a couple characters, but it just wasn't concerned with keeping them alive or expanding them because it was a limited series. It was only meant to run for a certain amount of episodes. But it did actually have promising characters that worked in and around Rick. But yeah, Daryl Dixon has had a terrible time developing new characters. It had like one and then they killed her off. And then by the time you start to like Laurent, they leave him behind. So it's just like they have a really hard time creating new characters for these shows that are not flagship characters. So this series has a really hard time creating new characters that you would care about in any fashion that are not from the original series. And I think it's wrong to keep knocking them out like that, to be like, oh, well, here's a character that we could do something with. Oh, no, he's just here to die. That's all. The violinist is just going to die quickly. Short death, quick death. We can't have nice things in this world. It doesn't really make her layered more. It just makes her, it just puts Negan on the other side of somebody like him, who just randomly kills people. But Negan's argument was always, and the argument actually for Negan among Walking Dead fans is that if you look at it from his perspective, he was attacked by this random group. So he did a lot of what Rick would do in the same situation in the original series. He had different methods about keeping people together and stuff, but and was not as nice. But some of these other people that he's been up against are like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So she has no reason to kill the violinist, and she's like, oh, I'm not going to kill one of the last artists. You know, why would I? It's like, why? Yeah, exactly. Why would you? Like, and then she does it anyway. I'm like, this sequence is stupid. this is dumb. You guys are so hard at developing new characters, and you've got, Teen Herschel. I don't know if it's Logan Kim playing Herschel, if it's just the way they write Herschel, if he's just being given poor direction. But every time Herschel's on screen, I just wanted to be hit by a car. Just done. Just get him out of here. If he just got eaten by a walker, that would be the best episode of The Walking Dead Dead City. I'd be like, yes, thank God. Maggie, you're better off for it. Raise Jenny instead. Jenny's also here, by the way. It's hard to ever find her because she rarely ever talks. So it's just hard to find. I don't know if Dasha Polanco made it through this episode. I'm assuming because it seems like the worst characters seem to survive longer than better characters, that she's probably still alive. Although it's amazing that the historian is still around. I don't know. He made like no impact. I would have assumed that she would have killed the historian instead, but essentially he's trying to get by on like a journalist pass. Like, I'm here just to report on things. And so, I mean, normally in war, press passes would get people through most conflicts. So I guess maybe she's actually honoring that, but it doesn't really seem like they honor any other rules or have a system of law. So Negan, now wants to kick the crowd's ass yet again. We'll see where this is moving forward. There's not much he can do because there's that looming threat of the fact that they have his wife and kid that are supposedly on their way. So really isn't much that he can do yet until he has secured them. But I think we're gearing up for Negan to go on like a rage thing and kill everybody and take over. I feel like that's gonna happen, and turn into, it would be like you poke something long enough, right? And you're like, I want a dog that bites. I want a dog that bites. Oh, never mind. I don't have a hand anymore. That was too much. That was not what I wanted. It's like, yeah, it's kind of what you were asking for, though. You didn't, it did what you wanted it to do. So I think that's kind of what's going to end up happening with Negan. It's like they keep wanting him to be his old self and keep asking him to be brutal, keep asking him to do it. And you ask him to do it long enough, he ain't going to do it. He ain't going to do it to the people you want him to do it to, though. That's my thought for Dead City. You keep prodding. Keep prodding. As soon as he's got Annie and his son on lockdown and they're safe, Lucille is going to be His new Lucille is going to be covered in blood. It's covered. So, that's it. That's Dead City. I can't grade this episode. It's unwatchable due to lack of audio description, but I always think it's fun to give the blind perspective. Things that I need help on. The buoys, I didn't understand the buoys. I didn't understand what was happening with the ship. I didn't understand what that they were putting methane in walkers and shooting them out at the army. A couple things like that I needed connective tissue on, but some of the other stuff I was able to follow through conversation. So I did fill in a couple gaps, but yeah, I got through it. That was mostly just me stumbling through it. If you felt like I missed something, I probably did. You know, it's probably the point. So of pointing out the lack of accessibility. Anyway, maybe one day AMC Plus will decide accessibility matters to them and that they would like to cater to, the disabled community in some form since they've been around forever. And I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.